Hey, hey. All right, guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be a bonus message for the Cancerians. I put Cancerian messages out every Tuesday and Saturday. So happy Saturday, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump on in, see what we've got here. We start out with the lovers. We got somebody who is thinking about flying back home to Cancerian. They may be someone that travels for a living. They could be a Gemini. They could be somebody that comes and goes in and out of Cancerian's life, but it actually looks like, despite whatever the situation is, sorry, my hair is somehow, some piece of it scratching my face. Somehow, no matter the distance, no matter how often they're in and out of Cancerian's life, it's almost like there's always a happy homecoming anytime they come back to the nest. This person may wear a lot of hats also. Now, certainly we could read it the other way. It could be Cancerian. No, I don't think so. To me, we're not getting Cancerian out in this. This is somebody else who has, I feel like they got delayed. They were supposed to be back in Cancerian's life according to their plans a long time ago, but Cancerian might have been delayed as well because this slow-moving night was sideways. Things took time. Miss Hermit, great to see you, Angel. Things took time, but it might have been, wow, Six of Swords. I feel like I'm just going to say it the way I see it. Cancerian and this person might both have had other connections, other situations or situationships in life, things that had to be dealt with, because this is a card of choice. And I feel like Cancerian had to actually leave something as well. Some place that they had been for a long time, some routine, some aspect of their life. This could have been a mentality. This could have been a lifestyle choice. It doesn't have to have been a romantic connection. But I think there has been, this feels more like a story of divine timing, like two people that care about each other, but there have been very valid reasons why they were not going to be able to come into a union. Queen of Pentacles and Nine of Wands. I feel like this had something to do with work-related issues, or Cancerian was very rooted in something. Maybe they were, sometimes the reason someone becomes a bit of an island is because they're more or less living and breathing their career path. And sometimes we live and breathe a career path because we're healing other wounds. For whatever reason, and I would never normally read it this way, but this romantic partner that is on their way back into Cancerian that has admittedly been delayed, it is just as well because there's no problem between Cancerian and this person that's not going to get worked out. In the time frame that these two have been apart, Cancerian had their own like kettle of fish to work through, and they might have turned to a ton of work and they were good. Whatever this Cancerian did, they grew a business, they improved their skills, they created and generated great wealth, great abundance. But that might have been because they were actually working through other wounds. A wounded warrior energy says, look, our warrior is strong no matter what. They're not beat. They're still moving forward, but they are working toward like completion of something. That's why it's a Nine of Wands, because we're almost at the 10. I think Cancerians submerged themselves in a career path that they really excelled at, as they were working on some inner wound. Had nothing to do with this romantic partner. Not in this story. This is a very definitive separation. I don't know if Cancerian had a need to prove something to themselves, to prove something to the world, to prove that they could make it. Maybe they had naysayers, maybe they didn't have support, and they really needed to make their mark in this world for themselves to say, I did it. I got just where I needed to be. I'm here. I did it. Now, let's go back over to the Lovers card for a moment, because Cancerian has done what they needed to. We have got King of Cups sideways, darn good match for Cancerian. And we've got the Seven of Cups upright. So to have this kind of vibe, they are someone who, I think Cancerian never forgot this person, and this person certainly never forgot Cancerian. But they might have been a bit of a hot mess once upon a time. Balanced enough for them to know that they matched well with Cancerian, but imbalanced enough to know in another lifetime, we'd be perfect together. I just don't know when that is. Cancerian might have felt the exact same way about them. I think that's why I don't feel any animosity between these two, because it's more along the lines of, damn, if only the timing had been better, had been different. Damn, I just know I could be so right for Cancerian's life if only I were not setting out to sea again. Maybe they were in the military, Navy, maybe they sailed away a lot. We see them as a traveler somehow, here and with the ship that they hold. This is a character who is, again, even here we see distance with the Seven of Cups, which we don't normally see with the Seven of Cups, but we do this time. I kind of think that both of them knew, I wish upon a star that if someday we're in the same place at the same time and the same energy flow and things can click for us, that'd be awesome. But I think that they were pretty mature about it. This doesn't feel like one of those stories where it's like, well, why weren't you there? Why have I struggled alone? No, I think each of them had their own struggles. We see he's got the sharks in his belly. He's got his own kettle of fish that he's got to fry also. Everybody's got their own stuff to handle in this story before the timing was going to be right. But I still say that they made a huge impression on one another once upon a time. And it was always kind of like, if I ever got a shot with that person, man, I bet you we could be good together. Queen of Wands in the reverse, Ace of Swords in the reverse. They did not know when they were going to be free of some kind of karmic situation themselves. It doesn't have to have been a partner. Maybe Cancerian and this person, when they knew each other once upon a time, there was never an opportunity for romance because they were still involved in a going nowhere kind of connection that they were really struggling with how to end. Cancerian was not ready to be in a romance either because they were still kind of in this solo, I need to prove to myself and to the world that I got this. It just feels like the timing was just completely off for these two. My impression is that they were possibly like friends, colleagues, but in the back of their mind, they both knew if things were different, man, it'd be you and me, wouldn't it? Let me see. King of Swords. There was definitely an unspoken, very unspoken, but very much like there was a partnership, a camaraderie. Cancerian and this person were part of the same wolf pack. The alpha pair in a wolf pack, they didn't mate for life. But there was some kind of like, we can't cross that bridge. But I know I work well with you. You work well with me. This feels to me like a workplace non-romance, but like the promise of maybe someday, if things were different, we'd be good together because we work really good together. But neither one ever said it. But you didn't have to say it. They both knew it. Chariot sideways. I don't know when it's going to happen for us. This is Cancerian. I think Cancerian was always like, please don't say it. Please don't say it. Please don't say it. And it might have been because Cancerian is like, I want you to be honorable. If you're still dealing with some karmic ex, don't make a move on me. When you still got this and you haven't ended it, don't do it because you're going to wreck it with me. This feels like Cancerian was the one who was like, whoa, don't say it. Don't say the thing that we both know sits here between us. We can't cross that bridge. Not yet. Cancerian held this at bay. And good for them for doing it because Cancerian was not ready, was flat out not ready, and they damn well knew it. Cancerian did not want to go down this road, not yet. And I do not think they wanted this person to try to bring up, hey, is there a thing going on between us? Do you feel what I feel? They both felt it. All right, we got the Hierophant here. And this Hierophant is so, like, we're seeing the Dalai Lama. We're seeing all these phases of enlightenment. And the Hierophant can be our belief systems. It can be marriage. It can be institutions of, rules and regulations. But when we couple it with this kind of spirituality and enlightenment and, higher attainment, I would say there's a lot of honor in this card. And I would also say that Cancerian was, and I think both of them knew, if things were to work out for us, this would be a real serious connection someday. So better to let it happen someday. Better to let's do the growing that we have to do, but I'm not going to forget you and your heart's not going to forget me. But let's not talk about it now. Like, that's what this feels like. There was a lot going on that was never said out loud. This is two people that had a relationship that never was a relationship at all. But I love this because it seems like a mutually like genuine and respectful energy, respectful of where they were as people at that point in life when they met. Just because we meet somebody and we go, damn, I think I'm supposed to be with them, doesn't mean the timing is right. Just like sometimes we go, there's the car I'm going to buy someday, but I don't have the money for it yet. But that is something that I know I'll do that. That's what that neighborhood I'm going to live in. That's the car I'm going to drive. That's the thing. It's just not now, not at the moment, but I know what I'm working toward, because this looks like it had to go in stages. This had to be worked toward, because I think this is a relationship that's going to culminate in marriage, but I swear they both knew it from the very beginning, and it was never spoken about. It was never acted upon. Nothing ever took place. And that is because the timing was wrong, but it was very much Cancerian who was energetically saying, it's not yet. The timing is not yet. By the way, that was Taurus energy on that Hierophant. 10 of Pentacles. It needs to be, I don't want to say perfect, but for Cancerian and this person to now come into a union, which is what this looks like. Somebody has taken quite a long time, longer than what they both maybe subconsciously thought. But this person is on their way back into Cancerian's life. And I'm going to say after years. This feels like it's after years have passed by. But it's just now the right time. It's just now becoming the time where they could have it all, because they both completed some things that they needed to. How's Cancerian going to feel about this? If they are suddenly, I'm going to stick with this deck. If they are suddenly showing up, 7 of Cups in the reverse. I don't think Cancerian is actually surprised at all. Even though this could literally come out of the blue. I mean, we have a bluebird, so all the more reason I'm going to say they're coming in out of the blue. But I think it's going to be simply accepted. I feel like I don't know if Cancerian's going to pick this person up at the airport. It feels like they literally fly in, and as soon as Cancerian sees them, there's an embrace, and it's like, oh, you're home. I mean, how is it that two people who've never had an actual relationship can kind of skip over all of the intricacies of it and jump right into it, especially years later? I would say because finally it's the thing that was never talked about but was known. It's so heavily acknowledged between these two. I thought Cancerian might have been surprised by this, and they're not going to be at all. Prince of Cups. I think it's just now finally the time for the two of them to like really enjoy and embrace a kiss, the romance that has been put on the back burner for years. This is Eros or Cupid, so he's very much about infatuation. I feel like all of a sudden these two are going to be like teenagers in love. I think this is one of those stories where everything kind of changes all of a sudden after so much time of something having been on delay. Everything changes suddenly. Look at this. We got good old Dionysus over here. We got the wine god. We got 3 of Cups. This is joyful coming together. It feels like these next weeks for these two, when they come into this union, I think it's going to be utterly joyful, delightful. It's definitely the honeymoon phase. Definitely the honeymoon phase. Does this connection work then? Ace of Pentacles. Okay, after some deliriously enjoyable times where not everybody wears a lot of clothes, according to that statue, then they get down to the reality. Okay, how are we doing this? Ace of Pentacles is a more tangible aspect of life. Now it's time for the negotiation, right? They kind of have a chance to first, I think, get a little bit lost in that haze of love and romance for a bit. And then it's like, hey, we need to talk about the reality of this. What are we doing? You flew out here to see me. We both kind of know it's go time. Look, they're not going to visit each other as palsy-walsies. That ain't why this person's coming back. Nobody's pulling punches about that. The day this person flies to come see Cancerian, they both know what's happening. right? It's go time. So what is it, after they have some maybe deliriously enjoyable long weekend together, then what? Well, it's time that we talk about who's moving to be with who. Okay, so here's the nuts and bolts of this. There's some stuff that we got to collaborate, we got to work on. One of them may have something that I feel like it's our masculine in the story. I don't read for genders, but we just happen to have a, a masculine here. So I'm going to say whomever the masculine is in this situation, they may be the one that has something to sell, something that they have to, kind of wrap up. Aries, my love, don't fluffy the rug. Just go lay on the couch, babe. It's more comfortable anyway. No, he wants his fluffy 12-foot Persian rug, but I'm sitting on it, so he cannot fluff it. Sorry about the noise. Aries, baby, please, please. The Three of Pentacles says one has a little bit more work to do than the other, and I just feel like it's putting the finishing touches on things. So if these two are figuring out how to cohabitate, it is, I don't think it's going to be any big deal. I mean, I think they'll figure it out. They'll work it out. I think the masculine shows up in both of these cards as they're the ones that are making, well, I hate to say it, but more of the effort. They're the ones who are changing more things in their life, organizing things in order to come into Cancerian's world. Any way we slice it, we have a union that has been long overdue, but I don't believe Cancerian was ready for this union any sooner anyway. This is not an angsty, painful, heartbroken, can we possibly heal this? Was this an illusion? No, there was never an illusion. Neither one of them was ever confused by this. We rarely get such straightforward storylines, especially for Cancerian, I feel like. So that was a kind of a refreshing one to see. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Really nice to see everybody. I'm going to bounce over to my other channel, my main channel now, Kate's Regretless Life, and we're going to do some of the zodiacs over there. This Hermit, Andrew, nice to see you. Faith, Action, Bravery, always great to see you. Thank you for your lovely comments. Hey, Lulu, right back at you, hun. Hey, Crystal, Suzanne, San Juanita. I hope you had a lovely Saturday, everybody. Nice to see you guys. Tammy Secord, hi, honey. Hey, Carrie. All right, you guys. Shout out to you in Yorkshire. All right, guys. I'll see you again on the other side. All right, bye for now.